Welcome to College Kitchen. I know I'm not in the kitchen yet, but I just wanted to go over a few simple things with you beforehand. For this recipe, all that is required is a microwave, a bowl or a receptacle of some shape, a spoon, and a can opener. So get those things ready so you can follow along with me if you would like. And then secondly, this recipe should only take you about 5 minutes of prep time and 5 minutes of cook time. So it should be pretty quick. If you're hungry right now and you see this video and you've got the things on hand, let's go ahead and give it a try because it will hopefully be much faster than going out to get food anyways. Stick around to the end of the video and I'm going to be doing some food math, whether that's time it takes, cost, nutrition, and talk about all the great benefits of this recipe. Today we are doing a refried bean dip. We can use it for burritos, eat it with chips. Super good. Honestly, my wife and I still eat it maybe twice a week, 3 times a week if we're really busy. So really good. We really enjoy it. So definitely check it out and let me know what you think. Welcome to this first episode of College Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing something that we make all the time at our house. It's super fast, it's super easy, it's super healthy. And like I've said before, the goal of College Kitchen is to give you guys recipes that you can do in a dorm, maybe a one-pot recipe. This one is actually microwave only, and it should take less than 5 minutes to cook, less than 5 minutes to prep. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. So down here you see we have all of our ingredients, and I have them sort of separated a little bit. The ones here on the left are the essentials, and the ones on the right get increasingly fancy. One of the things I really like about the recipes I'm going to be doing here on College Kitchen are if they can be dressed up or dressed down, so you can make yourself feel a little fancier, cook a little something nicer, but it can also be something that has 4 ingredients and takes like almost no time at all. So what this is this is a refried bean dip. You can make burritos with it. We normally just eat it with chips because it's easier that way, and convenience is great. So you start here with this Rosarita. Our favorite flavor is the green chili and lime. Just grab a can of that and grab a properly sized receptacle of some sort. And you take the distressingly cylindrical beans and you stick them in your receptacle. So the main ingredients that we say are essentials are the refried beans, the sour cream, and the salsa. Because that's kind of what gets you the right consistency, the right flavor profile. So this is a cup of salsa. We normally don't measure, so we'll see if this seems like enough or too much. It seems like a cup of salsa is about right for 1 can of beans, for those of you that want to measure things out, because that's how I used to be until I met my wife, and now I don't measure things when I cook as often. So take that in, you stir it around, and then here we have 2 kinds of cheese. Again, increasing fanciness. We usually just have like regular old cheddar cheese, and I usually just sprinkle enough to like cover the top of the top layer, and then you mix it all in. However, we have a little leftover mozzarella from something we made the other day, and the mozzarella makes it nice and stringy. Like if you have like refried beans at a restaurant, this makes them a little more restaurant style, so you can mix that in as well. And this is the way that we had it a ton in college because it was pretty cheap and we could save a lot of money. And it made 2 to 3 servings. Now that we're out of college, we're fat and happy, and so it's usually only 2 servings nowadays. But it used to be 3 servings. We'd split it later. So you mix all that in. And this is where you can start to customize based on what you might have left over, what you might be able to find laying around. So the first one that we figure is most common is just some leftover rice. We learned just like yesterday that you can actually freeze rice, and so this is some rice that we cooked the other day and just stuck it in the freezer, put in enough, however much you think is enough. This bag is a cup of rice, so I'm going to guess like maybe 1/3 of a cup is all you really need, or 1/4 cup. Next thing is a diced tomato. We do this pretty much every single time now because we feel like it adds a lot of flavor to have the fresh tomato in there. And those for sure stick into the cutting board. So you mix all that in. You can also just mix it all at the end. That's probably a faster, more efficient way to do it. But this is a little bit of my OCD showing through, I guess. Mix it all in. Cilantro. Some people really love cilantro. Some people really hate cilantro. Fun science fact, some people think that cilantro tastes like soap. If you're one of those people, Don't put cilantro in your refried bean dip because it will make it taste like soap. So put in however much you like. We really like cilantro here, so we'll probably use like, I don't know, probably almost all the rest of this that we had laying around. And if you buy fresh cilantro, take off just the leaves. Don't put the stems in. They're more bitter and more chewy, and they don't taste as good, so don't do that. Then these last two, we only do these on very rare occasions because they're, in my mind, the fanciest, they take most work, they're the most expensive. So if you're doing this to try and save money, which I think is the goal of people who are here, we had a few leftover sauteed peppers and onions from when we made some taco salad the other night. So we're going to stick the rest of those in. And so there's that. And then the last one is if you get just like a can of canned chicken. This is just like Costco brand, so get it from wherever you want. It doesn't have to be fancy. And we don't put in a whole can. We do maybe, I don't know, 2/3 of a can. If I'm doing it, maybe it's more like 3/4. It's up to you, up to your personal preference. But you get that, you put it all in there. And now you mix it up for the final time before you do the first round of microwaving. So I guess this is a complicated cooking recipe because you have to microwave it in 2 separate rounds. First round gets it warm, melts the cheese, gets everything mixed together a little bit, and then that's when you add the sour cream. So it's over here as an essential, but we haven't put it in yet because you add it later. So now what you're going to do is you take this in your receptacle and you're going to take it over to the microwave and stick it in there for like 2 minutes on high. Alright, so you stick it in the microwave, make sure and cover it so it doesn't explode. And then you have a fancy microwave like I didn't have growing up. You just press the 2 and it cooks it for 2 minutes. So, pro tip, get a fancy microwave. Alright, so now you've microwaved it for the first 2 minutes, and so all you're going to do now is take that sour cream. You should have rinsed your spoon while it was in the microwave, so maybe it's a little bit late for that now. And again, this is something where you can be healthy or you can be not healthy, whatever you feel like. When we were in college trying to be healthy and save stuff, you just dip your spoon in and get like that much. But, you know, now that we're real adults, we like our fat, so make it really nice, creamy. Get a full big spoonful in there. Also, we add a lot of volume with all the chicken and the rice and the tomatoes and the peppers and everything. So it needed a little bit extra. So you mix that all in, and then you're going to microwave it again because the sour cream cools it down, and 2 minutes isn't really long enough for it anyways. So you're going to put it back in for another 2 minutes is what I say, but I always get impatient, so it's really more like 90 seconds. So you get it all mixed in good, and then you get ready to go put it back in. So you grabbed it out of the microwave after your 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And then, like I said, we typically just eat it with chips because that's nice and convenient. And you can see that it has different colors in it, so that's always good for your meals. More colors means more different vitamins and nutrients. And like I said, just eat with chips, and that was really stringy because we had the mozzarella. 2 thumbs up. But like we said, this is really easy. Hopefully this is a more interesting form of beans and rice. You know, college students are always supposed to eat beans and rice because they're trying to save money. Hopefully this is a little more interesting. You can choose what you do want to add, what you don't want to add. You can make this vegetarian, you can make it vegan, whatever you want to do because it's so versatile, and so easy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and if you stick around, we're going to be actually going through how much it would cost to make this per serving, so then you can compare it to, for example, how much it would save you versus going out to eat. Thanks for watching this episode of College Kitchen. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and maybe tips for how I can improve the filming because this was definitely an adventure, and I would like a smoother adventure next time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching that recipe on College Kitchen. I do want to go through some of the food math and some of the benefits of this recipe, nutrition-wise, time-wise, and everything. So first of all, this recipe is naturally gluten-free, and it can be made vegetarian, vegan, dairy-free, soy-free, whatever it might be, very, very easily. You know, replace the cheese or leave out the cheese and the sour cream, and it can be dairy-free. Leave out the the sour cream and the cheese, and it could be vegan. Leave out the just the chicken, and it could be vegetarian. There's a lot of options for if you have dietary restrictions. Most of the recipes here on College Kitchen will be gluten-free, or I will be making them as some gluten-free variant because my wife actually has to eat gluten-free because she has celiac. So if you're looking for gluten-free cooking videos, definitely stick around here. But for any sort of dietary restrictions, I hope to be able to accommodate you. I do want to also talk about the nutrition of this, and that is that this recipe has a little bit of everything. It has protein from the beans and the chicken. It has meat, the chicken if you put it in there. Beans have healthy fats in them. It has vegetables from the tomato, from the vegetables in the salsa as well. It has grains if you put the rice in. It has dairy from the sour cream and the cheese. So it has a little bit of everything. I'm not saying that every single part of it is healthy. Corn chips aren't the best for you. Sour cream isn't really the best for you. But overall, it's pretty healthy for you as far as quick and dirty meals might go, especially comparing to, going out to eat somewhere. And then the other thing to talk about is the convenience. It only took like 2 or 3 different cooking things, and then it also only took maybe 5 minutes to prep and 5 minutes to cook. How long is it really going to take you to go out and eat out somewhere? You're going to have to go to the student union at the restaurant. You're going to have to order, wait in line for who knows how long. You're going to have to order, wait for them to make it, and then come back home. So if you can make 1 or 2 or 4 meals in about 10 minutes, that saves you so much time. And as a college student, and your whole lifetime is money, especially if you're trying to study for a test or whatever it might be, that convenience of doing things in your own home is so much faster as well as cheaper. Now, the big thing I wanted to talk about was break down the cost of the food math here. So my standard order when I went to a Taco Bell in high school or in college was to get a shredded chicken quesarito and a loaded potato loaded griller. And so those are $3.19 and $1.69 a piece. So $4.88 plus tax, it's about $5 for you to get my standard order at Taco Bell, which I don't even think was a ton of food. Wasn't nothing, but it wasn't a ton of food. So let's look at the ingredients for this refried bean dip and see how much it costs per serving to make this. So let's run through this table of ingredients really quickly. The first one is the refried beans. It's about $1 on average for a can of Rosarita refried beans. I would suggest going with the on-brand here. It seems like there was a difference when we've tried other brands in the past, so just go for it. The salsa was about $6.50 for a 64-ounce jug, which is 8 cups. We only used 1. That's about 80 cents worth of salsa. The sour cream, about 10 cents. You can get a 16-ounce tub for $2. And so if you take 1 spoonful, we'll just call that 10 cents. And then if you look at the bag of chips, our favorite brand are those Tortillas chips. They're $2.29 per bag. So if you eat about half the bag for the entire thing, it's $1.15. So if you look at just those ingredients, what we call the base level ingredients or the cheap level ingredients, the total cost is going to be $3.05. Then if you say that's going to be about 2 servings at least, then that's $1.53 per serving for the base cheap version of this refried bean dip. So that's super affordable. If you compare that to my Taco Bell order, it's a third of the cost. Then if we look at the mid tier where we add in the rice, the tomato, and the cheese, it was about $7 for 8 cups if you get a big old bag of shredded cheese. And so if we use about a cup of cheese, that's 87 cents. If you add in the rice is dirt cheap, and so you can get a 2-pound bag for $1.50, use about a cup of it, so that's about 10 cents is all. And then if you add in the tomato, a tomato $1.50 a pound, about half a pound, maybe less, so I threw in 75 cents. That brings the total cost up to $4.77. But because you added the volume with the rice and the tomato, I'm going to say that's going to be more like 3 servings now. So that means the cost per serving is $1.59. Still, a third of the cost of going to Taco Bell, let alone the time that we already talked about. The last one is if you make this the gourmet way, where you add in the cilantro, the chicken, and the peppers and onions, you're still not adding that much cost. So the cilantro, it's $1 for a bundle. You're not going to use the whole bundle for one thing of refried bean dip, probably maybe 20 cents worth, 20% of it. So I would suggest don't buy the cilantro unless you've got plans for the rest of it, like a taco salad or something like that. But in the end, cilantro is pretty cheap to use. The chicken, it's about $2 per can, $2.20 for a can, and if you use 3/4 of it, that's $1.65. So one of the more expensive, or in fact actually the most expensive ingredient for this recipe, but not exorbitant. And then the peppers and onions, if you use half of a red pepper and about a quarter of an onion, I call that $1. Red pepper is about $1.50, half one 75 cents, and onions again are pretty darn cheap, and so using a quarter of an onion isn't a big deal. So $1 for that. And so if you add all that up, even for a gourmet thing of refried bean dip that you eat with chips or you can put on tortillas, it's $7.62. But once you've added in all that canned chicken, I think that'd be like 8 to 9 ounces of chicken as well, then I'm going to call this 4 servings, which means it's still only $1.91 per serving, which is less than half of what it would cost for my standard Taco Bell order. I don't know what your standard Taco Bell order is, but this just shows that you can save a ton of money by cooking at home. You can save a ton of time. And you might say, it's not that much money. I'm saving myself, what, $3? But if you save yourself $3, even 3 times a week, $10 a week, $40 a month, $500 a year, it adds up. And so I really wanted to show you the power of cooking at home. I'm going to do this on every single video to show you the cost as well as the nutrition benefits and the time savings so that you can really make the most of your college experience, come out of there spending less on groceries, spending less time driving around, waiting in line, so that you can really do what you went there to do. Thanks for watching this episode of College Kitchen. We'll see you next time.